have a very long program tonight, so we're going to move on to our next speaker. But before I do that, there are a number of people I just need to thank. Firstly, my sincerest thanks and great appreciation to Angela Tuck, who curated and designed this exhibition. As usual, she outdid herself. My thanks to Sean O'Sullivan, who produced the 2 films that you'll see in the exhibition. And then also a big thank you to my team here at the SHAM for going above and beyond in the development of this exhibition. In particular, Leila Bloch, Belinda Selekowitz, Eben McNary, and Natasha Wood. And finally, my sincerest thanks to the exhibition sponsors, Cape Gate, the Kaplan Kushnik Foundation, and Mr. William Guild. Without their generosity, tonight and the exhibition would not have been possible. I'd now like to call up Mr. James van Dieren, President of SHAWCO Health, to give us a short introduction about the history of SHAWCO.
What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. Is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. Nelson Mandela. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, students, staff, and friends of SHAWCO Health, and SHAWCO Education, and all the other SHAWCO sectors. My name is James van Dieren, and I'm one of the student sector presidents. Today I've been asked to give you a brief introduction to the SHAWCO story. Today we celebrate 2 important milestones. One is the 100th anniversary of the birth of Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first democratically elected president. The other is the 75th anniversary of SHAWCO. SHAWCO, the Students' Health and Welfare Centers organization, began in 1943 as an initiative between Andrew Kinnear, a young medical student at UCT, and Dr. Golda Seltzer, one of his senior lecturers. Andrew had his eyes opened to the appalling lack of services and access to health in communities he worked in as an ambulance driver to pay for his education. On this Mandela Day, I'll close with another quote. There can be no greater gift than that of giving one's time and energy to help others without expecting anything in return. Thank you very much, and welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Kena Basir, and I am the president of the SHAWCO Education sector. First up, I'd like to call Professor Craig Soden, who will be speaking about student volunteerism, and he is the SHAWCO chairman.
Yes. Now that this commemoration happens on the 18th of July is an absolutely great coincidence. It's great, of course, in the sense that the event falls on the day that we celebrate that extraordinary South African, Mandela. Coincidences such as this help us to remember things. But the significance is much greater than that. Mandela Day calls us to think about who we are and how we make lives for ourselves in this united country of ours. Kinnear drove his ambulance into the squatter camp of Windermere. He thought he was solving his own problems. He was finding the income to be able to pay for his fees. But he stumbled into a world which he realized was a world that he couldn't turn his back on. And in that moment, he ignited a tradition which we at UCT have inherited and learned from, which I'd like to say has changed UCT. So there's a lot of discussion going on about the insulated place on the hill that UCT is. But having an organization like SHAWCO inside of UCT has indelibly marked the space of learning that UCT actually is. I've been very fortunate to be able to watch over the last 10 years our students engaged in this incredible experience of going out night after night into the cold of Cape Town and coming there, as James said, to learn about other people but also to learn about themselves. And this is this wonderful thing that this voluntarism is all about. This is this wonderful thing this experience of SHAWCO has brought to UCT. It's brought a kind of education which I think all of us need to be incredibly proud of. What the SHAWCO students do is to make every day a Mandela Day. And it's in the example of the kind of leadership that our students take when they leave UCT and enter into this diverse set of occupations and commitments that they have, and in their leadership demonstrate that sense of awareness of what it means to live not by themselves. So I'm very thankful, and I doff my cap to them every single day and say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Next on, I call Mr. Kevin Alexander, who is a community leader, supervisor of the Haven Night Shelter, and unofficial mayor of Kensington, the birthplace of SHAWCO. Mr. Alexander also shares a common vision with the organization, which is to improve the quality of life of individuals in developing communities within the Cape metropolitan area.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the impact that SHAWCO had on me as a person. I like that resume of the unofficial mayor of Kensington. I've just always been passionate about SHAWCO and about Kensington. I said one day, you know what? Removing SHAWCO from Kensington would be like removing Table Mountain from Cape Town. Kensington without SHAWCO would just not be Kensington. It's crazy. And I think kudos to Andrew Kinnear when he went through Windermere in 1943 and had, like Professor said, what he thought was helping himself was actually a vision in disguise. To come and create SHAWCO with the help of the medical students at SHAWCO. And people used to gravitate towards SHAWCO for everything. You fall and graze your knee, you run to SHAWCO. You need fish that time that they handed out. Dr. Adams will remember there was Irvin and Johnson down the road in Kensington. And SHAWCO used to get all the leftover fish from I&J. And they had this auntie at SHAWCO, Auntie Violet. She was very strict. She had a stick, and people had to line up. They had to queue. And used to get fish cakes and leftover fish. And of course, we made a nuisance of ourselves every single day to go and queue for Auntie Violet with fish. Then there was all these activities at SHAWCO. I went there for volleyball, we had karate, we had ballroom classes, we had, you name it, table tennis, there was everything. You had to go to SHAWCO for everything. I remember when I was in Standard 6 at Windermere High. We played cricket out on the field one day, and there were two guys having a bit of a fight on the field, and one threw a piece of glass at the other one, and the glass struck me on my forehead. So there was blood all over, and the teacher put me in the car and rushed me down to SHAWCO. That was our day hospital that time, SHAWCO. It was all these medical students in white coats. It was quite intimidating and quite awesome. And later on in life, we just look for a reason to go to SHAWCO. We would walk past and, oh, wait, I haven't been in here, I'll just go say hi to the guys. And then a couple of years later, SHAWCO almost had this sort of Control-Alt-Delete moment, where they had this complete paradigm shift to move into education. And then I met Gavin Jokums, and I thought, yeah, this man is doing amazing work. SHAWCO is now where it should be. Thank you, Gavin. You've taken SHAWCO into the right direction with the help of your colleagues. And I thank you for that. The kids at SHAWCO coming there after school with Ken Steppens, Ken Smart and all that, they're doing amazing work. So guys, ladies and gents, well done. I never thought that SHAWCO would reach 75 years. 75 is absolutely amazing. So, to everybody involved at SHAWCO, UCT, please keep up that good work, Professor. Well done. And I wish you a happy birthday, and may God spare you for another 75 years and more. When I close my eyes one day, I want to know that SHAWCO is carrying on still. So guys, keep up the good work, and may God be with you always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Our next speaker is Dr. Hassen Adams. He's the Executive Chairman of Grand Parade Investments Limited, as well as the Acting CEO. Mr. Adams was voted EY South African Exceptional Entrepreneur for the year 2014. Dr. Adams has many years of experience as a consulting engineer, as well as a project manager. Dr. Adams was recently awarded an honorary doctorate from the Department of Economic Management Sciences from the University of the Western Cape, and he's also a SHAWCO kid and our biggest funder. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and good evening to all the friends of SHAWCO. I've heard some of the speakers, so I'm going to change my whole direction because I don't want to repeat what everybody has said. Safe to say that I have to give you a little bit of history of myself. As much as you've seen all of these accolades that have just been given to me, I'm just a very humble guy, and I want to stay that way. So I was born in District 6. We were then forced to move to Kensington. As I said, we come from a pretty humble family. Father a farmer, my mother a housewife, and so, you know, we had limited opportunity in terms of education, in terms of all the extracurricular events that takes place now. So I am a product of SHAWCO. Okay. It was a place of convergence where all of us used to congregate, play sport, learn how to play chess, started my whole debating career in SHAWCO. And then, of course, there were all the other features of SHAWCO. I remember going up there and playing table tennis and doing all of those things at SHAWCO. And without SHAWCO, I wouldn't be standing here today. I'll be very honest with you. Because SHAWCO kept me away from all the gangsterism and all the problems in the streets. And that's what they did to most of our communities. If you talk to Kevin and I'll probably go back before him, it was a place where, you know, everybody was keen to go to after school because you could do anything there. You could play chess, you could go and do table tennis, you could do, and they had a big hall in the middle in Kensington and all the ancillary facilities around there. And most importantly, I remember that the students who looked after SHAWCO made it their home, made it a place where we could build community character, made it a place where, you know, you started to understand that this was like home. And that's exactly what it was, you know. So I said to our guys, look, let's look at what we can do for SHAWCO. And I'm very proud to say today, we have contributed over 21 million rand to SHAWCO already, and we will continue to do that. I think, you know, today has also been quite a big day for all of us, for the whole country, for everybody that believes in the humility and the greatness and the sacrifice of this great man called Nelson Mandela. When we started with the casino, there was an event that took place which changed my life also. We had a public hearing and the entire Pagat came there with little children and placards. I'm a Muslim, no secret about that. And they shouted down with the Injil. Injil in Arabic means the non-believer. And they shouted and screamed, and a big audience, 2,000 people there. And I remember Peter Bacon, who was the CEO of Southern, said to me, please, Hassen, you better get off the stage, they're going to kill us here. I said, no, Peter, I've faced bullets in my life. So let me address them and engage them. So I asked them, please give me just 2 minutes or 3 minutes and I'll give you as much time as you want. I remember the leader was a guy called Hassen Adams or something like that. And I said to them, and the reason why I want to tell you the story is because it's Mandela Day. And there's a message that we must take to the rest of the world and to the rest of society, which in my opinion is the foundation of our lives and our religions and everything that we believe in. I said to this guy, I said to him, please, let me tell you about the great Mahatma Gandhi. The great Mahatma Gandhi, I said, went on a strike for world peace. A hunger strike, that is. And he became so weak that his followers said, oh, great Mahatma Gandhi, please stop, we can't let you die of hunger. And he made a remark, and he said, I will only stop if you can go to all the Muslims in the world and ask them to adopt all the Jewish orphans in the world. And you go to all the Jewish people and ask them to do the same to the Muslim orphans. So I said to him, but now what is this great Mahatma Gandhi actually telling us? Orphans and adoption, and we here, doing a public hearing on a casino. I said, what he's trying to tell us is that we should tolerate each other. We must have the humility to say, I'm sorry, or you must have the patience to say, can I listen to you? And what that means is by engaging each other, we can tolerate each other. And I remember my time with Mandela. He was a man of great tolerance, great humility, and that's what this day was all about. Today, I woke up this morning, and I must tell you this, and I switched on the TV, and on comes BBC, and there was this child that I saw on TV in Yemen, emaciated, with flies all over it. And I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I'm going to now go to Grand West to go and pack meals for Operation Rise Hunger, whatever it's called, Rise Against Hunger. And I say to myself, wow, why does this happen in the world? It will only happen, well, we welcome Miss South Africa. Everybody. So, and you know what? I thought to myself, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how powerful you want to be. But the biggest problem in the world is greed and intolerance. And I want to say here tonight, Grand West Casino and all its subsidiaries will continue to support and fight poverty and stop greed and make quite sure that the government listens to us in a way that they tolerate us. We're not there. I don't gamble. I'm there to make quite sure that I look after the exchequer. He knows that and where the money goes to. Because if we don't look after the money, there won't be payment, there won't be hospitals, there won't be all of those public facilities, and there won't be SHAWCO. Let's put it to you that way. We will continue to support SHAWCO. Today, I'm one of the proudest beneficiaries of SHAWCO because I could give something back. And in closing, I just want to quote what Mandela said, and I was going to go through my speech, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I've said enough. In closing, I would like to just quote the great Madiba. It says, as long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality persists in our world, none of us can truly rest. To deny people their human right is to deny them their very humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. I'd now like to call up someone who, I'm one of the fortunate few people who can call this person a classmate, Miss South Africa, Tamaryn Green.
Good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Tamaryn Green. I am a 6th year medical student, as was just mentioned, at UCT. And I can see a few of my classmates here, and it's just exciting to see them again because it's been a month and a half that I haven't seen them. And I'm also the newly crowned Miss South Africa for 2018. So it's really an honor to be standing here tonight. I have to say that to celebrate 75 years of SHAWCO is honestly amazing. Being a medical student, I did participate in a few of these clinics, volunteer throughout my 6 years. And I have to tell you that every single visit was not forgotten, and honestly, I enjoyed it so much. Every single visit that I went to, I left with more knowledge, more experience, and honestly with a happy heart. And that is what's happening in these SHAWCO clinics. SHAWCO is not only a platform to help the people of the community, but it's also a platform to help our students. It is an opportunity for them to grow and to learn more skills, and honestly, to grow the passion for health, for improving the health of our country, because I know that is what I experienced when I went to all of these clinics. To me, being Miss South Africa is not just having a title, it's honestly a calling. I can't describe what my heart was feeling when the day that I decided to participate this year. And it was a realization. It was a realization that what I'm doing with medicine, I can incorporate in this platform, and I can do it on an even bigger scale. So that is what my plan is. You know, the thing for me is, I believe that the SHAWCO clinics incorporate both things that I'm very passionate about, education and health. Because when people say education, they just think of the classroom, you know, but educating people about health is what I'm talking about. Because I believe it's like Nelson Mandela said, you know, it's a special day today and we get to celebrate his legacy. And Mandela always said that education is the most powerful weapon to bring about change. So what I want to do through my campaign is I want to educate people about health, because I believe that if you're educated, you can look after your own health, and there'll be less health issues in South Africa. So that is what I want to do. So I really look forward to incorporating what I've learned in the lecture halls, in theatre, in the SHAWCO clinics. I look forward to incorporating that in my year ahead. And I really want to thank Grand West and Sun International for funding this amazing project, for making it possible for students to participate in it. I believe it's doing great things, and it's only going to get better. I believe that. And my message to those students who are volunteering currently, I want to say well done. I understand it's not easy to balance medicine, all the work, studying, and then going to clinics. But I think you guys understand the concept of learning by doing. And that is what the SHAWCO clinics allows us to do. In closing, well done on this amazing project, and thank you for what you are doing for our communities. It really is making an impact, and I'm excited to see what else is going to happen in the future and how I can be involved. Please invite me to go out into the clinics and practice my medicine so that I can stay fresh for next year when I come and continue my studies. Thank you very much.
But I think our thanks go out today to two people that have left behind this amazing legacy. And it's this same legacy that has brought us all together here today to celebrate 75 years. 75 years of giving, 75 years of receiving, and 75 years of touching and changing lives. So it's my great honor here this evening to give thanks, because SHAWCO is a fascinating organization. I don't think there's anything else quite like SHAWCO. I don't think there's anything out there that has the scope, the extent, and the joy that it brings to so many people on so many different levels. I thank today our SHAWCO volunteers. You know, they are exceptional individuals. I look at James, Sukaina, from our side, thank you very much for directing this program and for leading our two sectors, our sectors of health and our sectors of education. I look at so many of the other faces here, Sukaina, Ben, Yannick, all of you guys. I don't think you realize the impact of the work that all of you do every single day. But in touching these lives and going further, we also need additional support. And I thank Dr. Hassen Adams for the vision that he had to continuously give and to bring and to change so many of the life experiences of those in our communities. I thank his team, Mervyn, Mel. I think Heidi's like a flutter baby, always around. You call on Heidi and immediately things are being put together. This is about just one of the sponsors and one of the ways in which the giving comes to SHAWCO. I also thank our UCT Department of Communications. Through the UCT Communications Department, they allow us continuously to stage and to profile this valuable work that we as SHAWCO do. I also want to thank our Faculty of Health Sciences. Prof. Mayosi, thank you for joining us here today. But I also want to thank in particular Prof. Gonda Perez. You call on Gonda and you say, Gonda, there's something we want to do, and immediately the response is there for us as SHAWCO, as our student volunteers, to engage and to learn from the experience of being health students. So I would like to thank Prof. Krain Sudin for those late night emails and for the guidance and the encouragement and for just being a really wonderful individual to be around. It has been an exceptional time in that regard. So Uncle Robert, I want to thank you very much for listening when I spoke. I want to thank you very much for making this day here possible for all of us, you, the Kaplan family, and Cape Gate. Thank you for putting this together for us as SHAWCO in a very special way. As Governor said earlier, when the two of us met and we started talking and exploring, I'm extremely passionate about SHAWCO. SHAWCO is not only part of me today, but also part of my past in many various ways. And I must say, Gavin, that you have done a phenomenal job in convening and putting all of this together for us. I wrote Gavin an email and I said to him, on the Cape Flats, we say, "Jy's a goon," yeah? And that truly, Gavin, is what you have been in pulling all of this together. And as for your team, Layla, Natasha, Sean, and especially from my side, Angela. Is Angela here? Where's Angela? She not? Angela was like an angel on this. The past 2 months has been crazy. My staff will tell you. There were days when we worked till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning trying to put this all together. But I think Angela has done a fantastic job in designing, coordinating, and putting this all together for us to appreciate this evening. If you all indulge me, I would just like all the SHAWCO staff to please stand. All of you here, SHAWCO staff today, if you can please just stand. I want to thank each and every one of you for your commitment. I want to thank you for holding together everything that we do as an organization. I want to thank you all for creating for us this beautiful space that allows us to do and to continue to do the work that we do. So for each and every one of you here today, I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.